Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ClayShareCon 2023. This is the very first broadcast of day 3, and we are so excited to be starting it off with Delvin Good. He is so amazing. If you remember Del from last year, he did a really fabulous demo with us using Speedball Underglazes, had so many great tips on how to work with your underglazes if they've dried out at all, and also ways to apply that. So today he's got a little surprise for us. He's going to show us also how to work with some Speedball Underglazes, but he's also going to be using his Artista wheel. That's the same wheel that I have right here, and I have to tell you, I love this wheel. It's amazing. It's been a game changer for me in my studio. Also, we're giving one of these away. So if you have not signed up for our email list, go to clayshare.com and sign up right now so you can be entered in the drawing to win one of these amazing Artista wheels. We also have a bunch of other prizes, including an L&L kiln, so you don't want to miss out on that. Now, all the pieces you see before me were made using Speedball Underglaze in one way or another. I've got a couple examples of using Speedball Underglaze applied and then wiped back as a stain, and then I used my Buttercup, it's a yellow Celadon on top. So if you're looking for something sunny and bright to wake you up on this chilly February morning, this might do it, right? And here's another sweet little platter. We actually made one of these in a live broadcast, so this little tray with handles using the Diamond Core Tools handheld extruders. And then I have a couple other things I'll quickly show while Del's waiting patiently. Made with Speedball Underglaze. This is some Mishima. I carved these patterns in and then did a little watercolor effect. And the same with this cherry blossom vase right here. And these were just carved freehand with Diamond Core tools, the Diamond Stylus tools, because, you know, I love me some Mishima. Okay, so there's a little preview about some Speedball things. Let's go on over and see how Del's doing. He got up extra early this morning to join us, so we're thrilled to have him here. Hey, Del, how are you doing?
Hey, Jess.
I'm so glad you're here with us this morning and part of ClayShareCon again.
I know. Thanks for having me back.
We can't wait to see what you're going to do for us today.
Well, we're gonna do a couple things. I need you to keep me on task with the time, though.
All right, I got a timer going, so I'll let you know when we're 5 minutes out.
Now, let me know about the halfway point.
I can do that.
Yeah, we'll start off with the some underglaze, since you were talking underglaze, so we'll roll right into that again, and then we'll switch to the Artista on the back end.
Sounds perfect.
All right, so like you said, you were showing some pieces with the underglaze. So this is all Speedball Underglaze on the outside. I think everybody can. So all Speedball Underglazes, just utilizing stencils and just thinning it down to your use. So to do this, I thinned it really down because I ended up airbrushing this one, and we'll show that. But I'll show the brush technique first and talk a little bit about resist techniques that I use to do this and map some of this stuff off. So we'll get right into it. So I have a bisque cup here that I masked off, already glazed the bottom. Use as a resist, because that's really all this is. It's basically a puzzle piece using resist to get your final design. So I prepped some decals last night. You may or may not kind of recognize the design we're going to end up with here.
Hey, look at that.
Like I said, it's like a puzzle piece, so you kind of figure out the design and build your pieces together and think of how can I layer the different layers of resist, masking, unmasking, in this case, to get the ClayShare logo on the side of a mug. So
that's awesome.
So I use primarily interior grade vinyl from Oracal, and it's 631 is the interior grade Oracal vinyl. You can also use 651. That's more of your normal type vinyl that you'll get from most stores. It's really the difference is the tackiness. So the interior grade is like the same that you would see in like a gallery when they set up, put the artist names and titles on the walls, and then you can just peel it off and it doesn't affect your paint. So that's the grade that I use. In order to lift this up off of this backer, because it comes like this in my machine once I cut it out. And then you'll do what they call weeding. And I'm going kind of fast with this, but you peel away the excess that you don't need. And these will be the stencils that we use today. So what you can't see in this part is there's a lot of lines cut. Basically, the complete design of the Clayshare logo is cut out in this rectangle. So I need to lift that rectangle up and put it onto my bisque piece. So to do that, I use what's called R tape or transfer paper. And you can get this in all the hobby shops now. If you get into this technique a lot and use a lot of transfer paper, I'd say go look into buying the roll of it. But if you're just going to experiment with it a couple times, you can go to any like hobby store and just get like a small batch of it, and it'll work just fine. So I'll just take a little bit of the tape off. So this is all I'll need of the transfer paper. Lay it on my design. Squeeze it really good. And then just cut off the excess. Well, I guess I should back it up. So I designed all of my designs in Adobe Illustrator, convert them into vector files, and then I have a vinyl cutter. It's called a Muse, but you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, or a friend with a Cricut or a Silhouette or a vinyl cutter. You can use this technique. Because really the hard part is sitting at the computer. If you design it well, take your time at the computer with the stencils. That's about 80% of the solution already. The rest of it is patience and applying your layers and not going too fast. So I see I lifted that whole design up. There's a little bit of tackiness on the back. And I learned throughout the years to design the area around the stencil so that it matches easily onto the piece that you're glazing. And by that, it's almost as tall as the piece. So as I lay it on there, I don't have to do as much masking. And a lot of that is because I'm gonna airbrush. Most of the time I airbrush this. I'm gonna brush on this morning and airbrush to kind of show, the versatility of the Speedball underglazes. But primarily I'll airbrush this. And so making it this big allows me to mask it off that much quicker, because then I'll come back with the transfer paper, that same thing that I used to lift this up, and then I'll just cover up the rest of the piece that I don't need, or that I don't want glazed with underglaze, as I'm spraying everything all crazy throughout the studio. So you want to make sure you get a good seal on it. Okay, so now it's on there really well. Like I said, I'm not going to mask the rest off because we're just going to brush it on, which is still good to have a nice border around it. So it still protects it if, the brush strokes go a little crazy or if there's some bleed out. And then, like I said, it's the puzzle piece now. So now it's just picking which color do I want to glaze first. So we'll do the lighter blue part of the logo. And fortunately, looking at I got the Speedball underglaze chart. So there's a color that's pretty close to that. So I didn't have to really play around with mixing anything. So the, what is it? The Blue Frost actually is really, really close to that color. So I peeled off what's going to be the Blue Frost section. And then I'm just going to glaze that. And as you can see, and I'll show you with my design, like I'm going to come back and cover that up with a piece once I finish glazing it. But yeah, and so I'll be able to cover it up. I'm mixing up techniques right now as far as brushing and airbrushing because I'm brushing, I don't have to cover it up immediately. And you'll see why that's important a little bit later. So let me go grab the Blue Frost real quick. I thought I had it.
And the other great thing about Speedball underglazes, while Dell's grabbing that, is you can mix them to get the color you want. So if there's a specific color you're trying to get and Speedball doesn't make it already in the jar, you could take two colors and blend them into a separate jar, and now you have a brand new custom color. So really any color is possible.
Correct. Yeah, I love the fact that I think that's what drew me to them first is just they're pretty predictable. As far as like what the color is on the label is pretty similar to what you're going to get when you fire. There's only probably like one or two colors I've ever used that wasn't spot on. So knowing that and having a pretty extensive painting background, I found Speedball really easy to use that way. So I'm going to brush this on, but I like to dilute it just a little bit. So I use just a little bit of Darvan when I'm diluting with the Speedball underglazes. And what that does is it just kind of smooths it out. I know some people said sometimes they're really chalky. This will help get rid of that chalkiness. Also, with this technique where you're layering different stencils on top of stencils on top of stencils on top of underglaze, the Darvan helps it adhere to the bisqueware. And that'll also, because a lot of people are like, how do you do that on this? Because a common technique, if you're going to do multiple colors of underglaze, is to underglaze it on greenware and then fire it and then put your next layer on, fire it. So I developed this technique because I was like, I don't have time for all that going through my master's program. Shout out to Fort Hays State University.
Woohoo!
And I was like, okay, I need to be able to get this all knocked out, the design in one time. And so played around with it a little bit, took some old painting techniques, and figured out that the Darvan was the key to being able to be pretty aggressive with the underglazes as you're building up your layers. So I just put a dab of Darvan in. I didn't have any cups today, so my wife does a lot of spray painting and woodworking, so I stole one of her caps off her spray cans. She'll be okay. She'll still love me. And but it's a perfect little reservoir for what I needed to mix. So with that, we're gonna do, your typical 3 coats, different directions when you're brushing it. We're gonna imagine that I did just that. All right, for the sake of time today. So let's say well, actually, we can go ahead and I'll do the orange as well. So now the orange part of the logo, I can go ahead and get that removed. So you see, let's say I got 3 good, generous coats on the blue side. Now I'm on the orange side. Again, I'm going to prep the orange. Then I actually have some already prepped in a mason jar. So I'm just gonna use what I got in the mason jar. Now I keep them in the mason jar for when I airbrush. So after I have the proper mix of water and Darvan, I'll just seal it back up in there and it's good to go. So as you can see, this is really diluted, but again, it's the same thing. It's just building up your layers. And so another benefit of doing it really thin, and because you can do that with the speedball underglazes, you can go really, 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 really thin and still get rich, vibrant, opaque colors. But the reason why you do it, why I like the airbrush, why I like to do it thin, because I like them when it's said and done, pop it out the kiln to almost look like it's a decal, which has been fun because I've been in some art shows where people have just kind of walked past my work, like pretty much for the first couple of hours until somebody finally stops and says, "Hey, is that actually underglaze?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then coming to my work, they was like, "We was wondering why you got in this show with those plastic cups." And I'm like, "No, it's awesome.
They're not plastic."
All right, so I'm just gonna quick dry these real quick. So like I said, again, it's a patient person's technique, but we're gonna rapid dry it. All right. So now we've got the light blue and the orange is dried, 3 solid coats in our mind. We're all good. We're ready to move on to the dark blue portion of the logo. And so like I said, if you design the stencil right, this flows really well. All right, so now we got our 2 shapes, and now we're ready to do the blue. And so now I have my extra pieces here, and I'm just gonna mask off the light blue and the orange. Oh, let me show you what I'm doing. So, and this really is just carefully just placing it.
And this is that interior grade vinyl that will peel off without taking your underglaze with it.
As long as you've let it dry properly.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It'll be good to go.
All right.
A decent amount of layers, because if you try this, it's a couple of things. If you do this and it's not sticking, it's one of 2 things. It's either it's still wet or you didn't get enough underglaze on there for the tackiness to have enough surface to stick to. So now I could just go on to the next color if I wanted to and be good to go. So let's say we did that. Because we magically sped up the process and we got the one there already, right? So now we remove those 2 pieces.
So do you wait till the underglaze you've applied is dry before you remove the vinyl stencil? Like around it?
No, actually, I keep going. Like I actually move pretty fast with this piece. I'm just really careful, like as I'm removing it, not to splash it on. I'm not always that successful. That's probably the smarter. Usually, I will take the heat gun and dry the immediate area around it, because the good thing is with the vinyl, it has the surface tension where the water or your underglazes, if it's wet enough, most of the time won't just fall right off of it. So you have a little bit of leeway. So I'll hit it with a heat gun just a little bit, but I don't wait till it's completely dry. This is because I did it last night. So it left it out. So you see I had the masking because I airbrushed this one. So I have the masking all around it.
And I just want to let everybody know it's asking about the vinyl. This is the same vinyl you would buy and use in a Cricut or Silhouette die cutter. So you can pick this up at any hobby store that sells, or any place that sells Cricuts or Silhouettes or any of the die cutters. And if you don't have one of those machines, you can always hand cut a stencil yourself. You can hand cut designs and apply the vinyl that way. So it's easy to get. It's sold everywhere. Plus, you can always get it online too. It's so good. You're hired. I need 1,000. I'm just kidding.
But now I want to have fun with the background. I can't just leave it like that, right? You saying we're good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
So then I have my last or another stencil that'll cover the entire thing up, so I can start doing my my background graphics. So now you can layer up even more things. So I cut out these funky lines just to kind of have fun. And again, it's just another layer of resist.
We're halfway. We're at the halfway mark. I'm giving you your warning.
Okay. All right. So we're going to say we magically covered this whole thing. And so with the halfway mark, we got to get some Artista love in here. So what I'll do is I'll go in and, like I said, I will prep. I'll prep the underglaze to be airbrushed. So this is what I found for underglazes, the best airbrush to use. Yeah. It's that trigger style, gravity fed. Don't know. Every time I look, I get this off of Amazon. Every time I look, it's a different brand that they're pushing. But just this style. I've used several of them, different demonstrations, workshops. Just as long as it's this style, it tends to have enough pressure to push out the underglaze once you thin it down and not get gunked up. So I highly recommend you get a style where you're actually squeezing the trigger versus the other style where you're just pulling it back. So I will, like I said, I'll just put it in a mason jar. Oh yeah, so this one, so you can see I thinned it down. This definitely doesn't look like sky blue because because of the Darwin and the water in there, everything has separated. So this is great. I totally planned this. So now you take a milk frother and mix everything up.
You know, after you showed us last year how to use the milk frother, I had to get one. And it lives in my studio. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. And so let's say we frothed it, we've added it in there. With the airbrush, it's like spray painting. Like you can't go for the depth that you want, the opacity that you want on the first coat. So I'll actually do up to like 12 to 14 light coats in that area, usually resting every other coat, giving it a couple minutes to dry up before I move on. And I'll do that until I build up the decal or build up the image. So we've magically done that all around. So I'll do, typically to do this, I'll do, and it looks like it's two colors, but it's really just one. So what I did is I did 6 passes, peeled off the lines that I put on, peeled off all these lines, and then I did 6 more passes. And then that gives you the look with the airbrush, it gives you a look of multiple colors when it's really just one color.
Just one. Yeah, that's great.
And then the final reveal, did I do everything right? There you go.
It's so fabulous.
So yeah, I'll finish this up and get it to you.
You're the best. I'll send you something back. I'll make a cup just for you. I'll carve you something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's switch over to the Artista real quick. We'll turn that guy off. So I too absolutely love this wheel. Here we go. How's that? Right. So the first thing that I guess impressed me with this wheel was just like how strong it is. Like this thing is serious business.
Me too.
I didn't think at first it'd be able to because I didn't see him too much, and then I tried one out when I actually went to Speedball to hang out for a couple of days, and I was like, wow, like, and then I started seeing people actually have studios with just artistas in their studios, public studios, public spaces too. So it's like, okay, yeah. So let me grab a bat.
And if you all are enjoying Dell's tutorial today, you should check out what he did for us last year on ClayShareCon. You can watch that replay. It's up, and you can see more of Dell's work. Also, follow him on Instagram at dgoodart. It's DGOODE art, ART.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're chatting with Dell about doing a workshop on ClayShare too. So hopefully we'll can work it out with his schedule and get him to come do more of his awesomeness.
Now, the main difference between these, obviously, between the size and the clay bosses is the clay bosses you can reverse which way the wheel rotates. The Artistas, you have to buy them per which way you want it to rotate. So that is a factor depending on which way you throw. It has a cool, just a knob here on the side. Because they're so light. I'll show you the knob for those who aren't familiar with this one. It's just this knob here. And that's how you control the speed. Or you can buy the actual pedal attachment and have a pedal. I have this one on my table right now. I'm just going to use this, the knob, to adjust my speed. And you can actually get a stand for them. So you can get these eventually you can turn these into your regular wheel.
I got the foot pedal for mine and I love it because I can stand here when I'm doing demos and I can easily work without having to move over to my wheel area. So for me, and it's not that, you're right, it's not heavy. Anybody who's had to move a full-size pottery wheel around their studio, as I have, those things weigh as much as me, I think. This little guy, I can pick it right up and take it wherever I need to go. And it can travel too, which is amazing.
Yes.
So if you live in, if you vacation for a long period of time somewhere, or if you spend the winter somewhere else, you could take this with you easily.
Yeah, I do. There's some workshops that I'll do at a military base, Fort Huachuca. It's about an hour and a half from here. And I take this with me to do the demos. They have wheels there, but it's just nice to put this on top of the table, have all the students come around, and I'll just and
it's the wheel you're familiar with too, which is really nice.
Yes. So it's not a lot of clay, but it goes. You can get a lot on here. I haven't fully tested it out yet. I'll get there one day, playing around with it. But I primarily do functional wear too, and that's a key. I rarely go over 3 pounds, and this is more than enough for 3 pounds of clay. If you're kind of like me, just doing mugs and cups primarily. Yeah,
I think it centers up to 25 pounds.
Yes.
Is the rating for it. So I've never done 25 pounds on it. I very rarely do 25 pounds ever on my wheel. Right. So
I forgot to give a shout. This is the Molly Senior black bat that I'm using that I threw on there. Shout out to Molly. She's doing great things.
Those are great. Yeah, Speedball's had the little square ones for a while, and I haven't tried them yet. So good to see them in action.
Oh, I live by the square ones. They were a little intimidating at first, but like I said, I primarily do like mugs and cups and stuff. So that way I can throw and I don't have to take them off the bat. That's what I love the most about it. I just set the bat to the side, and they're so small, like you can get a lot of them in a small space with all your work on them.
Yeah.
So I'm using a porcelain this morning. I think it's from Kentucky Mudworks. In case anybody was wondering.
I'm sure people were asking. So now thank you.
And that's why I said just complete control, easy to clean, like it comes apart really easy. I think I'm going to custom paint mine after this demo here in about a week or so.
I can't wait for that. I want to custom paint mine.
And I was like, I gotta have some fun with this thing. And it wasn't my idea. A good potter buddy of mine, Rich Brown, suggested it. If you don't know him, Pottery 32, amazing potter. So he gave me that suggestion because he's getting his custom painted. So I was like, oh man.
So a bunch of folks are asking how they can enter the giveaway we're doing for the Artista pottery wheel. Just like with all the giveaways we're doing, you just go to clayshare.com and sign up for our email list. Our premium members of Clayshare, you guys are automatically entered. You do not have to watch to win. We will email the winner to let them know. So if you want to get in on the Artista wheel giveaway, go to clayshare.com and sign up for our emails. If you want more awesome potteriness, then go join Clayshare. You can download the app and watch Clayshare on the go, or you can put it on your big TV at home on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, whatever you got. So you mostly wheel throw your pieces. Do you do casting ever?
I do slip cast. So that the piece I glazed this morning was slip cast. So I like to bounce back and forth.
Yeah, I think it's great to combine them.
And I just got this really cool these diamond core ribs the other day. I know we're talking speedball, but man.
No, yeah. I know. I haven't tried those yet.
Oh man, game changer. So they're really great, really great. All right, really fine, a little bit of a wobble, but I have a technique for that. Wobble's gone. See, we're good. Don't have to worry about it no more. And so as you see, like the bat system, even the 12-inch bats, 7-inch bats, they work on the Artista wheel. So if you already have speedball bats, there's nothing new you have to buy. I was in a goblet making mood last night, so that's what I was working on. So made this the top piece last night. We'll see. We'll join them up using the Artista. A little bit of a heat gun. I'll just heat the bottom up just a little bit. Which is funny because, out here in Arizona, it's been last couple of days a little bit more wet. And then little bit more moisture in the air than usual for us out here anyway.
So your pots are taking longer to dry, you're saying, because of the extra humidity?
Yeah, because usually, especially with porcelain, like I usually have about 45 to 50 minutes from the time I make something, if I don't cover it, and it's almost past leather hard. So I know when I move back to the East Coast, I'm spoiled out here with these drying times. I'm gonna have to slow down my process a little bit. And if you also, speedball bats come in all kinds of colors. This is their, so I got brown, black, green. I got every color they got so far. Little birdie told me
coordinate your bats.
I do sometimes. Like I'm feeling red today. Like we got to just use the red ones. Little birdie told me they might be coming out with some new colors too. So. There we go.
Very cool.
I think we'll join them up.
You got 7 minutes. You're flying.
I'm trying to get it done. There we go. Like I said, the key with this one is just the versatility of this. I don't think you can match it. I mean, even in the photo that I took for this, just to kind of, hey, this is what I'm doing, and I just picked it up, carried it outside, and had my son shoot the photo. I mean, it ain't the lightest thing in the world, but it's good enough for that. I had to tell him to hurry up a little bit, but it's just, they're really easy to move.
I think also one great thing about the Artista is if you're a hand builder and you want to do a little wheel throwing, it's the perfect wheel for that. Also, if you use GR pottery forms a lot and you have the Wah 2 system, it'll work on these Artistas. So you can roll out your slabs and you can just use your Artista wheel for making your plates. I mean, you could do all your dinnerware that way, and it's really easy, quick, and you get consistent results every time.
What I started off using mine with was glazing. So that was my primary purpose of this was glazing on this wheel. So I really didn't throw on it, but when it came time to glazing, like this was the wheel of choice for me. Especially if you're doing the greenware style, where we're gonna, like with the underglaze and you're just gonna glaze it prior to. This is perfect for that.
Yeah, it's a great tool to add to the studio. People will think, well, I don't need a wheel. I'm not going to throw pots on my wheel, but there's so many other things you can do with it other than throw pots.
Exactly. And for us, like I said, the other side of our studio is a wood shop, because my wife does her thing on the other side, and it just sits right there on the table. We just cover it up. It's out of it doesn't seem like it'd be out of the way, but it 100% is out of the way. And then I just uncover it, do what I have to do real quick. You still see what we're doing? Okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Look at that. It's still a little soft on it, but You can see I'm moving the wheel by hand. Doesn't take too much to do that. So when I join my goblets, I score them together like this, and then I'll take a little tube of clay, little pinch, put it all around it.
Folks want to know if you have that shirt available for purchase. The studio shirt.
You know what? I can make it available again. I had it available, but I can make it available again by the end of but within an hour after this broadcast.
Okay. Okay, you get a studio shirt.
Yes.
We need to collab on some stuff then, because we're doing a bunch of new spring summer merch for Clayshare too. So we should chat. Where can they get that though, Del? Would it be through your Instagram page, or do you want them to go somewhere else?
So you can get there through my Instagram page, through the link in my bio, on my link tree, and it'll say, I think it says Dress Artfully right now. Once you get there, but that's the link to my Threadless art shop. So the actual site is dgoodart.threadless.com.
Threadless.com. I got that. I'm gonna share the Threadless link to folks, and if people want to buy your pottery, do you have anything available? And if not, when will you?
So it'll right now it's all available in galleries, again through that same link, through my bio. So couple of pieces in Eutectic Gallery, Companion Gallery, Clay Studio Philadelphia, Charlie Cummings. Yeah, got some stuff in there. And then I'll be at NCECA.
Woohoo! So those of you going to NCECA, be sure to find Del. You're going to be at the Speedball booth.
Yeah, be hanging out with Speedball.
I'm really missing out this year. I'm not going. Everybody's going but me. I'm going to be so sad.
Oh, I got stuff at Northern Clay Center too, because I'll be hanging out with them at NCECA for a little bit.
All right, so you will be at Northern Clay Center in NCECA, Speedball's booth, and just hanging out. Just
hanging out, getting to know all the awesome artists out there in the clay community.
We got 2 minutes left.
Cool. I got my little wobble goblet going.
I see the wobble gobble.
The wobble gobble.
Yeah.
Sounds like some graphics I need to put on there.
I love it. I think it's so fun.
Yeah, my son will use it. He'll be like, "Oh, can I use that one?" Oh, sure.
I know.
Anytime.
Sometimes kids have the best eye.
Yeah, it's like, we always consider that a win,
Definitely. If your child wants to use your own work, definitely that's a win.
Now, if you can get your spouse to use your work, that's when you really cross the threshold. I'm still working on that. And again, I'm just using this diamond core rib to kind of smooth everything out. I just love this thing.
Those of you looking for Del's bio, it's on his Instagram page, which I already shared in the comments, but it's at dgoode, Godde art. I will share again.
Yeah, there we go. This is real quick. Little goblet fun.
So fabulous. 19 seconds. Counting down.
Oh man, well, thanks again for having me back and showing the wonders of Speedball Underglazes and this little amazing little versatile tool that, like you said, is more than just a wheel. It is a tool in your studio for sure.
It's awesome. You did an amazing demo, as always. I love it. I love the cup. I love the wobble gobble. I love everything you did. So great, Del. Thank you so much for being with us and representing Speedball for this year's Clayshare Con. I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing. And I hope you do make it over to the East Coast. You'll be closer to us.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's the plan.
We'll see. We'll see, right? All right. You take care. Thank you, Del.
See
wow.
Ya.
Del is so amazing. If you're not following him again, that's dgoode, Godde art on Instagram, and you can click through there and you can see his bio and find out where you can get his work. It's through multiple galleries across the country, and you can go to his Threadless shop, which I shared the link to, but it's also linked to his Instagram page to check out his cool studio shirt and other things that he has on Threadless. All right. The Speedball Artista wheel, we are giving away. Again, you go sign up for emails. I know a ton of people ran over to sign up while I was mentioning it, and then I saw a ton of messages pop up saying, I can't. if everybody runs to a website at once and tries to sign up for the email, sometimes it slows things down. So be patient. Just sign up when you get through. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's going to be fine. All right, so we're going to take a little break. We're going to be back at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Cara from Amico, and she is going to show us her favorite layering combos using Potter's Choice and Amico Celadon glazes. So come back and check that out with us in a few minutes. See you then.